We started the cultural competence modules highlighting that we are all cultural beings and that to develop cultural competence, we need to have a greater understanding of who we are. As we have seen in the previous modules, our sense of self and our identities are constructed in many ways. For example, the cultures and times that we are born into, how we are socialized, and the privileges that we have or don't have all inform our worldview and the way we interact with others.
Privilege is being able to go about life and doing things as you would want to do, as anybody else can do.
Privilege is something often we take for granted, and it's the things that actually we don't necessarily earn along the way, but are just given by the colour of our skin or our background and that sort of thing.
I've been fortunate enough to be educated through primary, secondary, tertiary education, to live in a supportive and financially comfortable family. Extremely privileged, and I'm becoming much more aware of it.
Yes, I have a lot of privilege. I think being born at this time, during the time we are living, being born in a middle-class family. Although I was not rich, I didn't have access to a lot of things. Like I was able to access public school in Brazil. It's like I was not living in a remote area that wouldn't have schools. Then this is a privilege.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding of it is privilege operates in relation to how you're perceived and also how you perceive yourself in terms of your identity. So I guess, and my understanding is invariably you only notice privilege when you don't have it because you take it for granted or you're not aware of it when you do. So to use two examples, being white and walking into, a shop and then walking out of a shop and never feeling like, maybe you're being watched because people assume that you're from a particular cultural group that steals and, that sense of I became aware of these things through some of my legal studies, but I wouldn't probably have ever thought about that because I'd not stopped. I'm almost never stopped.
I don't notice or ever really feel like I'm being stared at. I don't feel like I'm trying to guard or protect how I move through the world for fear of someone calling me out or acting violently towards me. I don't fear that I'm going to be attacked or persecuted or anything like that. And that in most cases I can say whatever I want to say, and it's not really going to harm me. So that is privilege to me.
Judge every person as an individual. Don't judge people by how they looked, how they speak, what language they speak, and just treat people with respect and courtesy.
Ask questions and be open-minded. Be prepared to learn. Be prepared to have your perceptions and viewpoints challenged.
It's our responsibility to actually, really try to understand people's different perspectives.
Yeah, just be open to listening to them, listening to what they have to say.
Not being afraid, I feel, is a big factor.
What I tend to do is firstly thinking about the context within which we're meeting. So if we're working together, if we're socializing, I think the context is more important to the relationship. So I'm not going to make someone's sort of culture or want to talk about their culture as the most significant reason there if we're working together.
I think when I'm interacting, I try to be sensitive around the language. Like I often think, oh God, I hope I haven't screwed up there by saying something insensitive to someone.
I think generally friendliness and smiling, I know that's probably culturally specific as well, but I think listening and observing their manner of interaction, because sometimes mirroring is the most appropriate thing, although that could also go wrong, but generally because I think that a traditional Anglo-Australian way of greeting, if maybe it's another male, might be to be like, oh, g'day, hi, give them your hand. Maybe also some men, certain backgrounds experiences might not be comfortable with that. Also, there's then a gender thing and certain cultures that's not comfortable. So probably like smiling, being friendly, observing their interaction.
In Module 2, we said that culture is akin to being the person observed through a one-way mirror. Everything we see is from our own perspective. It is only when we join the observed on the other side that it is possible to see ourselves and others clearly. But getting to the other side of the glass presents many challenges. We can look at these different challenges as different parts of our identities. Although we might have a sense of how we are socialised and understand some aspects of our cultures, we might not have fully observed ourselves. Examining the many layers of your identities, owning them and integrating them into your story will help you deepen your understanding of who you are. It will help you get on the other side of the mirror to better understand others and to engage with the often complex dynamics of interacting with people from social and cultural groups different to your own.